Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Business Hub UG. If you haven't subscribed by now, please first pause and make sure you subscribe because we need to take this content further and we are relying on you. Ladies and gentlemen, I know in the recent time, or you know that the prices of coffee have gone really so high and have more than doubled. And I know some of you have already converted your farms, already having plans to get into this coffee farming, given the price, the high rocketing prices. So what a way than to talk about coffee today. So ladies and gentlemen, today I host the CEO, the gentleman that is behind New Cafe. And New Cafe being the National Union of Coffee Agribusiness and Farm Enterprises. Now, this is one of the largest employers of Uganda's coffee industry that works with over 1.5 million farmers, and then also employs over 1,000 youth in this country. Our guest today is also an author who is a writer. He has written several books that some of you could have read, and some of them being Building the Coffee Value Chain, Using the Farmer Ownership Model, then Sustainable Coffee Production, Managing and Leading Farmer Organizations Wisely, and then the Uganda coffee sector we want, among others. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome with me, Mr. Joseph Nkandu. You're most welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's nice to be here.
Good to have you. It's such a pleasure. We are honored as the Community of Business Hub to have you speak to us today.
Thank you.
Yeah. So if I, to start with, how long have you been in the coffee industry, and what are some of those achievements that you boast of as an individual and also as New Cafe generally?
Interesting. This is it's a very provocative question.
Yeah.
Why? Because it is a long story.
Yes.
First of all, I was born and grew up on the coffee farm.
Oh.
And quickly to add that I have never worked anywhere else other than within the coffee industry.
Oh. Okay.
So I have been there ever since I was born. So, and when I pursued my education, immediately after finishing my first degree, I did not look in any other place. I did not look for a job, but that was to get back to the communities, to try to mobilize the communities, and for the reason that I wanted the communities to be empowered, farmers to be empowered within the entire coffee value chain. Okay. And this is why when I looked back, when I suffered, getting school fees, when I witnessed my parents going through rough time of being able to get school fees on time for me to stay in school. That was so challenging. And it was so challenging in a way that because my parents were selling raw material coffee.
Okay.
Raw material coffee to mean that it was fetching far less than 1% of the retail value of coffee.
Of coffee, straight out of the market, out of the garden.
Exactly. And it was so disturbing because at a time, as we knew it, coffee was Uganda's main cash crop, but also the main foreign exchange earner. So as a young man at a time, I used to ask myself, why is it that coffee is Uganda's main cash crop and the main foreign exchange earner, earning over 90% as far as Forex is concerned? Yes. Why is it that my parents are not making enough from coffee? So there must be something wrong somewhere in the entire value chain. So that's when I started interrogating, investigating this value chain. And when I continued with my education, and then I was offered to do my first degree as a Bachelor of Science in Agriculture. Immediately after finishing, I went to do real assessment and investigation why this main foreign exchange earner would earn only less than 1% of the retail value by the farmer.
Oh, okay.
So quickly, what I discovered by moving around farmers and asking them, how much are you selling your coffee?
Your coffee.
None of them would tell me the price of coffee.
Oh.
Instead, they would ask me, if you were a buyer, how much
much?
would you buy our coffee?
They're the mercy.
So I asked myself, now between you and me, who owns the coffee?
The farmer should be able to set the price.
To set the price.
Yes.
The farmer must be able to negotiate
Yes.
for the price. Then we went into real brainstorming, about the fact that, farmers were not being able to tell me the price of the coffee.
Yes.
So what came out very, very clearly, that when you ask me how much are you buying, if I was a buyer, it means you are not the owner of the coffee.
Yes.
Can we build a consensus on this?
Okay.
No, I own the coffee, the coffee is on my piece of land.
Yes.
Then I went further and I said, you know what? Even you don't own that land. That created the, stampede around. What do you mean? What do you mean? But I have even, some of them, I have the title.
I was born on the land.
Yes, I was born here. I have my Chibanja agreement. I said, in spite of all that,
Yes.
when you own something, truly you must earn the real benefit of it.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what it means by ownership.
Owning. Okay. Okay.
And when you own something, you have to know it all through. How many of you do consume coffee? How many of you distinguish between the best, quality of coffee and the poor quality of coffee?
Okay.
How many of you deliberately make investments and you are able to see these are the profits I have made?
Okay.
How many of you participate actively in working alongside government to formulate whatever policy that relates to coffee? For all of them, the answers were no.
No.
I said, okay, let us face the reality. Now, what is happening to you as farmers? At best, you are custodians.
Custodians of the coffee, not
of
the
coffee.
owners.
Not the owners. But I know for most of you, are interested in football. You know football? Yes. We hear even in Man U and Arsenal and what have you. Now, actually, the worst you are spectators. Said, wow.
That must have woken them up.
What is this? Then we went into what we call the value chain analysis.
Yes.
Now, value chain with values. For many people talk about value chains without values. So we had to look at the start of the value chain of coffee to the end of the value chain of coffee.
Okay.
At the start, the farmer was getting 11 cents. That is 11 cents of a dollar. And at the retail end of a supermarket, from 1 kilo, the coffee shop, a cafe, a cafe would make at least 80 cups of coffee.
Okay, from a kilo?
From a kilo.
Of
and
coffee.
Each cup would go for $2.
How?
And therefore, from a kilo, at a cafe, one was making $160.
Dollars.
a farmer was making 11
cents. Okay.
The question again, are you true owners of the coffee?
No, custodian.
No. So from that time, we established consensus that farmers did not own the coffee. Now, going forward isn't it high time that we own the coffee as farmers?
That's what gave birth to New Caf.
That gave birth now to our model, the farmer ownership model.
Oh, okay.
So it gave birth to the farmer ownership model, and which called for a lot of things to take place. One of them was realizing the fact that coffee farmers in this country are smallholder farmers.
Yes.
And therefore, to make progress, they needed to be organized.
Organized in groups.
Said that the future only belongs to those coffee farmers that will be organized.
Yes.
And that is when we started now constructing to get what we now call the New Cafe. The National Union of Coffee Agribusinesses and Farm Enterprises. Because through an organized institution, farmers have a big voice.
Yes.
Farmers would have economies of scale to bargain. Okay? Farmers collectively can make investment.
Okay.
Farmers can add value to their coffee. Farmers can influence, policy.
The policies in the coffee.
Therefore, what I boast about are a number of milestones that I was able to facilitate and achieve. Therefore, one, the realization of the fact that the farmers were not owners of the coffee was something critical, and therefore the birth of the farmer ownership model and going all the way into authorship of the manual that would build this ownership and an institution, was the foundation of everything as far as the Uganda coffee industry is concerned. So having the architect of the farm ownership model, and two, getting the farmers organized to form a formidable national organization in New Cafe became very critical. And three, getting the farmers to constructively engage with the government to formulate the first ever Uganda's national coffee policy, which had never been in place.
Never been in place. That
is a third milestone, achieved.
Yes.
And then swinging now to the academia.
Yes.
Because when I continued to do all that I was doing and traversing the globe and interacting, in the marketplace, I came to understand that our academia, our universities, our education system was only enabling us to achieve only 2% of the retail market.
Okay.
Why? Because the education system focused only on primary production of coffee. Know very well how to space coffee, how to look after it very well, how to apply water or irrigation for that matter, do that kind of thing. That was our education. Now, by having a graduate, graduating with knowledge to do with the only primary production of coffee, meant that you are producing a raw graduate. Okay? Not a value-added graduate.
Yes.
A raw graduate that doesn't have the necessary skills of value addition.
Okay.
And therefore, looking at that, we needed to bridge now primary production with industry. Now, over a period of time, I was able to, build a body of knowledge and skill sets. Because when you look at the entire value chain, at different segments of the value chain, you require different skill sets. But unfortunately, our education would only offer one skill set for primary production. So I went back to Makerere University where I had done my first degree, and I talked to my professors, look here, something wrong is happening. And therefore it is going to be all the time garbage in, garbage out. Don't expect to get into industrialization of coffee if at all we are not progressing in the value chain. Our education must upgrade into the segments where meaningful profit is.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, what are you talking about? Yes. Look here. For the coffee of this kind, we are not getting any skills to produce this
To be able to produce that.
This kind of coffee.
I get it.
Do you have someone with the necessary skills to roast so well the needed coffee?
The needed coffee in the
When I talk about, say, light roasting, when I talk about medium roasting, when I talk about dark roasting,
yes.
Tell me anywhere in our curriculum, where is it? When I talk about barista skills, someone who prepares a wonderful cup of coffee. And you go and pay $2. Where is the academy? Where is the university that offers this kind of skills? Now, how do you expect to really double someone's income? How do you expect this country to move to middle income? Therefore, we need now to review our curriculum. We need now a new curriculum that speaks to real value addition that we are talking about. Okay. Said, wow, but Joseph, what you are saying is so good, but reforming a university curriculum is extremely hard.
It's hard.
I said, yeah, let it be hard.
But it's possible.
But it is possible. It is doable. Said, now what do we do? Said, Joseph, can you now put up a concept? You know, with academia, concept,
yes,
that is now the starting point.
Starting point.
So I rushed to my office. I did the concept, sent it to my professor. He called me back, said, Joseph, this is wonderful. It is wonderful. It's a wonderful. I cannot add, I cannot subtract anything.
And they adopted it.
Said, now, the challenge is, where do we get the money?
Funding?
To fund it.
Okay.
I said, no, Professor, you have said it is a good concept. I believe something good cannot fail to be funded, especially if we work together. So to bring you to speed, in a period of only 1 year, we had already mobilized $2 million.
Wow. That's such a great achievement.
And then I said to my professor that, look here, it is not only going to be curriculum reforms, but I would like us to have an institution in place that will constantly be checking on the curricula. Why? Because skills do expire.
Yes. Okay.
And for people who don't know, you graduate with a degree, you have had this knowledge, you have had skills, but skills do expire. And they expire even with the advent of technology.
They evolve.
So we need to have an institution which will live a test of time, which will live beyond us as individuals. And therefore, what I did quickly was to propose the creation of an agribusiness incubator using a consortium of New Cafe as an organization, Makerere University, and NARO.
Yes.
And why I needed this tripartite arrangement was that the university was the knowledge generator, but which knowledge is more theoretical and more raw, for lack of a better word.
Yes.
And then NARO is a research organization. It comes up with the necessary technologies, with the necessary innovations, but they do stay on the shelf. So I'd like to ensure that when we have these three institutions, you have New Cafe, which is grassroots, which is community-rooted, but at the same time, it is market-oriented. It is more business, oriented. Then you have narrow research, come up with your innovations. Then we have the knowledge generator, but is going to add on skills. Now, we get the younger people, students of the university. Look at NARO, come up with that innovation you've seen or technology NARO has come up with. Can we turn it into business?
Okay.
And then we come up with a business plan. Now, from then onwards, we look at curriculum reforms.
Okay.
So we constituted a committee for curriculum reforms at Makerere, and I was part of the committee members.
Okay.
And then we fully constituted an organization which I founded together now with the professors, which today is called CURAD. Consortium for Enhancing Universities' Responsiveness to Agribusiness Development. As I speak now, CURAD has produced more than 50,000, younger people out there with their businesses, going on. It has empowered many farmer organizations, and it has also retooled professors.
So do we